Absolutely. We are always seeking ways to engage you in relevant conversation. Today we discuss with our resident relationship expert, Dr. Eve, we're talking about infertility and how it can possibly have an effect on your relationships. Of course, we are opening up our lines, 083-913-3728. But firstly, let's take a look at some of your comments from our viewers on the street when we asked them, how can infertility affect your relationship?
Well, it would affect the fact that I wouldn't be able to see a future with her. Well, for me, because having kids for me is something that's very important, and I wouldn't consider adopting kids.
So personally, it wouldn't affect me not having kids, but if he would once, it's something that you would both have to sit down and talk about and then take it from there.
I don't think having kids would affect our relationship because it's nothing I would want. Hopefully I'll find a partner who also doesn't want to have kids.
It's an important issue. I'm one person who believes that, one should expand their family and we should have our own children. But of course, if you love someone and such things happen and you didn't know about it in the first place, you just have to, find a way to be supportive and see other ways in which, could have children.
It wouldn't affect me because I personally don't want to have kids in the future, so I'd be okay with it.
So clearly a lot of varied responses there, and we do want to hear from you. So give us a call on 083-913-3728 as we discuss infertility within the context of a relationship and what possible effects it can have. And Dr. Eve, we heard very different responses from everyone. It looks like not everyone has obviously the same mindset about it. Some people want to have children, some of them don't.
I think that this is a young cohort of people, Katlego, and I think that this is a group of people who don't really represent the majority. In other words, it is such a serious and such a significant situation that has tremendous impact and mostly negative impact on people. And maybe I think that this group that was speaking here on the Voxy was people who were thinking about not having children or having children. What we're talking today about is really the process of infertility. A couple finding that they want to be having children and getting stuck with the unexpectedness of actually can't have a child. I mean, most of us, when we hear about sexuality or reproduction, we think about children we shouldn't be having. It's always about teenagers falling pregnant unintentionally, or people falling pregnant like just automatically. So we almost think it's like an automatic process. We don't really think about it a lot. We're going to have children. We've got to work really hard to prevent and protect ourselves from having children because it's such a natural thing to happen to people. So when it suddenly happens that you can't fall pregnant on demand, on command, or when you want it, it becomes a devastating impact on men and women and men and women on couples generally. Yeah,
well, we certainly do want to hear all of your comments. In fact, if you have experienced this in your own relationship, please give us a call, 083-913-3728. So take us through that first possible, let's say, consultation, if you were to set that environment out and the couple finds out that, unfortunately, one of you is infertile and you are unable to conceive. What are the emotions that go through a person?
Yeah, you picked up the right word. It's emotions first that really hit people. The first emotion is going to be absolute guilt, then blame, then shame, and then looking for a reason, like, maybe it's your fault. Well, it can't be me. And this specifically happens with men who would tend to, well, it isn't really me, it has to be her fault. And women often take that on, this is me and this isn't him. But what we know for fact is that 1/3 of infertility is caused by women, as a result of physiological problems with women. 1/3 is physiological problems with men. And then the rest is really idiosyncratic. We don't really know why. Then we also have something called primary infertility, which is that you're never able to fall pregnant. And then we have secondary infertilities, that people who've had 1 or 2 children and then really struggle to have children thereafter. So it becomes a very complex situation. But the emotions are that of incredible shame. Like, I should be able to bear children. That's what I'm put on earth for a woman. And for a man, it's like, but of course, what's wrong with my sperm? Why shouldn't I be able to have babies? And then it's the guilt of, well, I can't. And you heard one of the comments over here, which was really informative, was I wouldn't get married. This would be a deal breaker for me.
Wow, I was about to ask that. So why would people be willing to, we'll actually chat about this after the break, why people would be willing to push it to that extreme, because you still love this person, they are still the same person that they were when you got together with them in this relationship, but now, because you found out this devastating news, you might want to break up with them. We'll carry on this conversation after the break. Our lines are still open, 083-913-3728. We're talking about infertility in relationships, but let's also find out what else you can expect this morning.